Brightest blessings. This is Raven, and today we're going to do something a little bit different for me anyway. You may recognise this beautiful kit that Margreth over at Seven Plaza has brought out. It's actually 3 pages of freebies and then the kit itself, which are all listed in the description. I will post her YouTube channel to the specific video that I first saw the kit, so that you can go along and check that out. Now, when I first saw this kit, I thought, fantastic, this is just what I love. Entomology style, botany style, all that sort of thing. And I thought, right, I need it. I'm going to make folios, I'm going to make journals, I'm going to make this, that and the other. And in the end, I decided to print out like 4 of each page, which is what I tend to do when I buy a new kit, because I like to have spares so that then I can go along with my scraps and make other things, or it reminds me as I go through my stash, oh yes, I'd love to make another journal using that kit. So I'm not going to show every page because as I said, I'll link you to the video of her showing her kits. But there's lots and lots of things to cut out in here. Even the pages that are designed to be pages, there's no reason why you need to use them that way. It's laid out in such a way that you can cut all of these individual pieces out, which is what I've done on some of those 4 copies. I mean, look at that. That's just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. It's another one of those where you could quite easily just cut all the little pieces out. So anyway, as I was saying, in the last video, I said I wanted to be filling my stash up because my stash is really low, which it is. However, the stash that I have is sort of here, there and everywhere, and it's annoying me because I can't see what I've got and what I haven't. So I decided, as I'd printed out so much of this particular kit from Margreth, I was going to make an ephemera holder. So that's what I've done. Well, most of it anyway. I didn't want to film doing the whole thing because it's taken me a good couple of hours to sort of measure things out, cut things out and get stuff sorted. Essentially, I've used a dog food box. This is a Naturo dog food box that I've got several of. Sorry, excuse me. That are good sturdy boxes. You know, I'm putting a fair amount of pressure and it's not going to rip or anything like that. And I figured what I'd do is decorate this up inside and outside, and this is the perfect size to fit on a shelf or in my craft trolley next to me. And I should be able to fit a lot of my stash as I currently have it into here. The idea being that because I've got several of these boxes, I can make more in various different themes, perhaps. I then also wanted to make some dividers for inside, and I wanted them to be tall enough so that I could see where the divide was, but not so tall that I wouldn't be able to just flick through things. Now, the box itself, as I said, I haven't finished decorating. I've just done the edges. I did start to piece things together, and then Douglas started barking, so I had to end filming and start again. So I thought what we'll do in this video, we'll finish off my box here, decorating the edges, and we'll make 1, maybe 2 of these dividers, which I've made just using the lid from the box, but also, let's see if I can grab it, just some Amazon packaging, just cut to the same size. I mean, this isn't as sturdy, you can possibly see. It's not quite as thick, but I don't want to cut any more of the other boxes up because I know I'm going to keep using these. So I made these, which is essentially the same as a writing board. When you get a journal, sometimes it'll have a writing board in it. This is basically what these are, but I've turned them into dividers. I've used some whale tail punches that I've thickened up with a piece of cardboard at the top, so that then they all sort of go together quite nicely. So let's have a quick look at each of the individual dividers that I've made. So this one, again, I've used pages from the kit. Some are scraps, some are individual cut pieces from, you know, making the box itself. This little man here I found in my glue book as I was gluing. There's quite often photos, you can see. There's quite often photos and things of different people in here. And I just, as I found him, I thought, do you know what? He's lovely. He can go on one of my dividers. He'd make a good one as well. So, I mean, these books are fantastic. And I don't use all of the pages for glue pages. It's quite thin paper though, so it's not something that I make an awful lot out of. It makes great glue books, but once folded like this, it can be turned into pockets and things. And if I come across an image I want, I just tear the page out. I've got a little stash beside me. So say I wanted this Mr. Man here, Thomas Cook. I would tear the whole page out or rip part of the page and chuck it in that little tub. And then I've got people to cut out. I've got birds and things. It's very rare I'll use any of the other images, but I do tend to like using the people. Just because they're really nice images that you can easily use. These would be fantastic on the ID cards that we made in the last video. So the ones that I've been saving, I may well make some more ID cards to go with those. So that's where he came from. And then on the back, again, I've used some of this, I mean, it's stunning ledger paper that was handwritten that Margreth has turned into a digital. And just some bits and pieces. Now, obviously, I could decorate these more, but they are just dividers. And in my opinion, I want them to be nice to look at, but I don't need them to be as decorated as a journal page, for example. So I haven't gone completely to town, but enough to make them interesting. These whale tails I've made using Tim Holtz craft stock. And as I said, I've just put a little bit of cardboard in the top there. Then used an emery board. Where are you? One of these, just to rough it up a little bit and make it a little bit more vintage. And this is one of the good things about the Tim Holtz cardstock, is that if you give it a little bit of a scratch with an emery board, the colour will go and you'll see craft cardstock beneath it, which is fantastic. It makes it look grungy and old. So we have that one. We have this one, which is probably one of my favourites just because I like the field notes part. And this again is a couple of different pages that I've just hodgepodged together and some little bits that I've cut out. And on the back, the only thing in all of this that I've added that isn't part of Seven Plaza's kit is this Tim Holtz tissue paper that I had some scrap lying around and it was coffee dyed. So I figured it went quite nicely with the kit. I'd just add some of that. But use what you've got, guys. Some book page would look nice behind here. You know, some of that foreign language that I've got on the box itself would look quite nice too. Then we've got this one. I decided to use one of my ID cards that we made in the last video on here, again with some of the Tim Holtz tissue paper, just for something a little bit different. She sort of looked like an entomologist or a botanist to me as well, so that worked quite nicely. And on the back, relatively plain. I wanted to keep it this way. I may want to decorate it more in the future. I may want to use it for something else in the future. This would make a really nice writing board, as I said, a bit of an odd shape for a journal and size, but essentially this is how I would make a writing board for a journal is have one side quite decorated and the other side completely plain, so that you can write on it, and so that then you can say this was your journal, you can tuck it under the page that you want to write on, and you can write quite nicely. Because say you've got pockets and things on this page in your journal, and then you're trying to write on it, it's really difficult. But if you've got a writing board, that makes it a lot easier and nicer for you to write on. So yeah, maybe we'll make some writing boards at some point as well. And then the last one for now is this one. And I couldn't really decide which side I liked better. I like both sides equally. Again, some of the Tim Holtz tissue paper. Lots and lots of little cutouts on this one. And then on the back, this one is relatively plain in comparison to the others, in the fact of it is just one sheet of paper, and then I've added these little bits. And I like it. Sometimes you don't need too much, and other times you do. But I really liked the fact that you've got all these little bits together, and yeah, added some pens and pencils and things. So, fun times. Right, let's get on to decorating our box, shall we? Now, as I was saying, with that kit, there's lots of pages where you can just cut pieces out, right? As opposed to the whole page. So, sometimes I'll cut, like this is just a scrap, essentially, but could be used to make a big tag or a tuck spot. This is part of a page that I've cut this around, and I actually thought this would make a really cool inside cover. So I don't know, I may see if I can flip it. And I haven't bothered double printing on the back because I wasn't sure which I was going to use for journals or what have you. But yeah, I spent a good couple of days fussy cutting all of these different bits out. So there's tickets and, you know, just all sorts, bookmarks, lots and lots of different bits and pieces that I can now use to decorate my box. Here's all the tickets. Just nice thing, and some tags. Nice things that I may want to keep out or set aside to use to decorate my box. Anything that's left over from doing this will obviously be kept aside to use for making a folio or a journal. And this is generally how I tend to keep and store my digitals. So they'll either have a plastic pouch like this, or I'll have a box. So let's see. This one hasn't got its lid on at the moment. So these are some journals ready to make. This is a Natty and Moon one. And this is where I will build up my stash and collect things together ready to make a journal. So I've got sort of my drying racks at the side of me over here are basically filled with these boxes. This is the lid. I sort of separate them in half, and this is how I store my things ready to make. But if I've got a lot of ephemera or lots of scraps of a particular kit, this would be a whole box with the lid on, and then that is stored so that it's easy for me to find things. Let's stick him back where he was. The other thing I sometimes do, if it's a kit that is more of an ephemera kit than it is a journal kit, is I will use these trays, which is what I'm going to do. Douglas, no thank you. Goodness me. I'm just going to put some of these bits and bobs into here because at the moment they're spread all out all over the place. So I've got lots of these bits of scrap that I'd torn up. A little bit left over of that Tim Holtz paper. Now, I'm not going to use all of this. I've just pulled out a selection that then we can try and collage together. to decorate the box. Make sure I've got all the pieces because I'll be finding them for weeks to come otherwise. And these trays I think I got from the Works here in the UK. And these again are really good. I've got probably about 50 of these stacked with different pieces of ephemera in, ready to cut out, ready to use. As I said, quite often I will print things out when I purchase them, or if it's part of the design team, I'll go through the kits and I'll think, right, I'd like to make something out of that. Let's print that out. And it all gets sort of stocked together until I reach it, basically. Because otherwise, if you're anything like me and you're purchasing digital kits, if it's still on the computer, it's likely I won't see it. So if I get it printed out and cut out, I'm more likely to go, oh, I've got 45 minutes, let's bung some ephemera together. So that's what I like to use these for. Bit of a divergent from what we were talking about, but still. So with this box, I went around the edges with some sticker paper. I'm not sure what language this is supposed to be. If you know, let me know. It was just some free pages that somebody had uploaded of a book. And I printed it onto sticker paper, and I've just used the sticker paper. Sorry, that's probably really close. Just use the sticker paper to go around the edges, just to strengthen it a little bit because it's quite a sturdy sticker paper. So all I want to do now is finish these edges. So some have got a bit more on than others. And as I said, I've done the bottom already, but we may well end up flicking some more bits over. We'll see how we go. So all I'm going to do is get my glue book, my Oohoo glue. I am just going to have a quick sip of my drink. There we go. And let's get some bits and bobs out of my little tray here. And we'll just start sticking things down. The same as any collage, there is no right or wrong way. And what I will likely do when this is all finished and dried is I will coat the whole thing in matte medium so that it definitely won't go anywhere. Things don't have to go in any particular order. It doesn't have to be straight edges. You do however you want to do. Gouging out. That's a nice little piece. Grab that bit of glue that's on there. What else have we got? She says, and then throws it halfway across the room. Piece of this. So again, this generally would be something I would use up my scraps for, but I was adamant I wanted to use this kit, and the likelihood is I will end up making more of these boxes because the idea is to start filling up the old stash because I'm starting to run low. So that side for me is now done. I've left some of the foreign writing. This side, that's probably very close, guys. Let me just... Yeah, very, very close. Let me see if I can... Whoop. Yes, messy, messy table, sorry. Right, if I do it like that and stand up for a minute, it might make things a little bit easier. Sorry for the glare, that's one of my little lamps. I've got Douglas stud here. Hello. What? You want to say hello, do you? Come here then. Come here. Oh. Here he is. Doug Doug. Go on. Go and lie down, Mr. Man. You're not coming up on the table. He loves to come and sit up on top of the craft table when I'm working on stuff. But that's not conducive to filming. Right. See him here. Such a monkey. You're such a monkey. Yes, you are. Right. Maybe another little piece just in the top there. Little pieces. And as usual, I can't find the little pieces I want to use. Happy with that for now. Might as well do this side while we're here, mightn't we? Oh. I hope everybody's doing well. I've been so poorly again, guys. Honestly, it's never ending. So poorly. Yeah. I feel like I need... Yeah. Right, let's put this back on the side. We said we'd done that side, didn't we, for now? Well, it's just this side left. And then I can zoom you back in. There we go. Not having to see my pyjamas. And you're not having to see Douglas. Take that ball away. I don't want it. You monkey. Right. Ooh, back on my chair. He's bringing his ball up to me. Douglas, that's enough. Thank you. Honestly, it's worse than having a child. Of these tickets might be quite nice to just go around the side a little. As I said, I will likely cover the whole box in matte medium. Filter out some of the interesting pieces. Let's put that there. I've got a piece of that stunning ledger as well. Just have that there. That bit. The ticket. Whatever that's supposed to be. I don't know. It's tiny. Let's just add that there. I feel like I need something else on there. We used that on the other side, didn't we? But that folded over is quite pretty. Let's go with that. Right, so our box now, let's just move this glue book out of the way a little bit, and my scissors, and goodness knows what else I've got out everywhere. This is now pretty much done. I will likely ink all around the edges and things. I need to go around with the matte medium and just secure everything. I may find some stamps or something that I want to put on, but for now I'm really happy with how this looks, and I think I can't decide which side I like better for the front, that one or that one. We'll see, we will see. Right, so now we're moving on to the cards, or card, because we're over half an hour already, so it's probably only going to be the one. So these were the ones that we've made. I need to do another one this side, tab-wise. And I decided I wanted to use this paper and this paper for my piece of cardboard. I've already got the whale tail bit cut, and I've got a little bit of extra cardboard there as well. So I'm just going to make sure that I've got it the right way around, because it is slightly wider than it is tall. And I think what I want to do I can go my glue pages. What I want to do is glue so to strengthen these, what I will often do is leave a little gap, and then this will all get folded in a moment. I can go to the side. One's giant knife just to cut these corners off. Again, doesn't have to be perfect, you're not going to see it anyway. Paper moved. A little bit more on that one. Oh, nails don't want to work. That'll do. And then what I normally do says, couldn't find it, is I'll use art glitter glue to do this. It's a little bit stronger. And I just fold it and press it down. So that will then cover as well your cardboard edges. And then in a minute we'll measure the size that we need to cut that other piece of paper out from the front. So super tired. The problem is we've had quite severe flooding here in Worcestershire in the UK, and because of where I live, that's meant that I'm pretty much trapped at home. So I literally have not been able to go out or do anything. So that's going to be the back of our card. For the front, I'm trying to assess which bit I'm going to want. I just want field notes on everything. Is that terrible? Probably. Get my pencil or your pen. Rough mark. Rough mark. Paper trimmer. Oh, I just look like now. Yep. Tiny scrap. Bigger scrap. Now look it. I'll make sure that's going to be the right way round. Yes. Make sure that's all going to fit on there. Lovely jubbly. So that's essentially our card, right? And then we can add bits to it, which we will do in a second. Dog coffin. And I'm just going to line this up rough. Lovely jubbly. Now, which side did we say we were going to do? That side, wasn't it? See, now it's not going to work because I don't want to cover that up. Maybe one in the middle. Yeah, I think we'll get away with that, won't we? Right, so what I tend to do is glue one side, and I want to make sure that this is in the middle, and I want to line these parts of the tabs up with my page, right? My page or whatever it is that you're making. I then cut some whale tails out of some cardboard and chopped this top part off so that then it would fit in the gap. And that's that. She says, put the needle back in the glue. Right, so we're going to leave that for a minute just to dry. I'm going to use some vintage photo distress oxide just to do the edges. Some I've grunged up more than others. Just depends on what's on the actual piece of paper. I could have done this before I stuck the whale tail on, but it doesn't really make that much difference. This side, I definitely want to put a lot of decoration, well, a fair amount of decoration. Not so bothered about this side because there's already a fair amount on there. Right, let's put you aside, put you away. Just trying to tidy up a little bit, guys, because I'm starting to get overwhelmed with stuff everywhere. So now this is dry because it's Art Deco. I'm just going to go over it with my emery board and just rough this up. But I'm also going to make sure that I do the edges, yeah? Now, of course, you could, see, I've just done a little bit on there. You can do your paper as well, depending on what paper you've actually printed it on. I'm just gonna darken those bits up a bit. Right, let's see what I can find. I don't need that now. Move aside. Right, don't need, you can sit over there for a moment. Let's bring some of the pieces over here. Now, we already know that we've got a lot of things that say field notes, which is fine by me, but I do want to avoid adding more that says field notes, if I can help it. Squeaky chair. Let's have a look. So this one has a bit more of this tealy coloured on colour on, which I would like to use. And this is all about just placing things that look or feel right to you. We've got a lot of circles on here. I don't really want lots of light things because this is already quite light. So what I'm thinking is something like that, with perhaps that on the top. I'm not even going to bother inking too much. Right, we know I want that piece there. So I'm just going to add that there. And for context as to where this has been cut out from, that is that. So that's all that section. This bit I will ink. Just to give it a bit of contrast. Oh dear, guys. That's a little circle. Can go there. Not too bothered about inking this one. Put him there. And him Now, I could also use a photo. We could add another photo. I don't want to cut out any more book pages though, I'm not in the mood. Whoops. Sorry for the glare. Yeah, I think I might just use her at the bottom. So these are the Tim Holtz people that we used in the last video. Oh dear. Just going to ink around the edges. Now what I'm thinking is I might want to put her, that sort of defeats the object. I've just covered the whole thing up. Maybe somewhere like that with, so this is supposed to be a tag. I don't want to use it as a tag. I like that. Let's ink that one. I feel like I need another little something. What do we know? We didn't have it there. Where was it? There. There. Yeah, that's what we're going to go for. Stick her about there. Ink this tiny little tag. Now obviously these would look really, really cool if you had tiny brads and things to add to them, but because it's a divider, again, I don't want to go too nuts. Are we done? I think so for that side. Let's get rid of some of this rubbish out of the way. Right, this back side. How tall is this? No, too similar. No. Sorry guys if I go quiet, it's me concentrating and thinking, what do I want to do? Bumblebee. Bit of a butterfly. Right, something like that. Or do I just want to stick one of these on here? Oh, I've got that cut out, I'm sure I have. I've seen it. And we've got that. I like that one. Maybe on this side, like that. So it's all about just placing different bits together, guys, and, you know, finding what you like. My light's going off. That's because of the wind and the rain outside. Line it up with that line. Just put my finger by it. Put this one on. And perhaps Mr. Bumblebee, who I want to ink because he's in the foreground. Maybe he's just over that bit. I can't remember if that was the bit I was going to use or not. There we go. I'm happy with that. Job done. Right. Get rid of these bits and pieces all over the shop. Lid of my glue. Hand-eye coordination, she says. There we go. You back up there. Lid on my glue stick. Put you away. Put you away. Right. So that's the one that we've just made together. Now, how easy was that? So we've ended up with another middle one, which is fine. I'm just trying to work out what way I want them to be. Maybe that one. Like that. She says, but that's not the front. Which one did we say we were going to have at the front? Oh, goodness. See, now I don't know. I'm thinking maybe she'd be better at the front and perhaps this is just her husband. And she could potentially be her. Just with glasses. They look similar enough. So maybe this gent is her husband. So this could be the front, which is a middle one. Or do I want... Oh, guys. See, I'm so indecisive. Right, no. This one is going to be the front one. Done. Not arguing about it. Then her. So now we want something that's on that side. So perhaps that one. Then that one. Then that one. That'll be why I got that one the wrong way. So there we go. I still haven't decided which I want to be my front. I think probably this side. So let's go like that. Right, what time are we on, guys? Let me just have a quick nosy. I can't see. Yeah, we're at about an hour. But let's leave some bits and pieces over. Everything's falling all over the place, as per usual. Oh dear. So, stash. We're not going to go through all of my stash right now, but we'll sort of get an idea. So perhaps at the front, I don't want... This is coffee dyed envelopes. So we've got some journal cards. That's handmade ephemera. So these are bought journal cards from Graphic 45 that I don't use all that often. That one's not. That I don't use all that often, but I do like to keep. So that's those. Then I've got some bits of handmade ephemera that I've put together at some point. With little journaling cards and things in. That's a little journal card with ephemera in. That one's supposed to be like a specimen slide, but you can slide the ephemera in and out. And the same with that one. Huge big tag with a little tag envelope and another little envelope. What's this one? Oh, a little flippy. A little flippy. So those are all from similar kits. They're probably all from the same person, which I will have listed somewhere before somebody pesters me for not being very good at writing these things down. Little box. Tiny bits of bug ephemera from various kits or ones that I've made. That's a Tracy Fox tag that I've then added to. Another one, and a big old specimen slide there. So I don't think I'm particularly bothered about things being in a set topic necessarily, because I tend to go through all of these when I've got a topic in mind. I'm just sort of trying to wheedle out all of these shop bought bits and pieces. Right, these are not that one. These ones are for making notepads. So they're a notepad style on one side, and the other side I've backed with some form of coffee dyed paper. So that can go near the back, but not the back. So they can go in there. At the very back, what I do know is that I've got all of this tall ephemera, some of which is not going to fit in here because it's too wide. So these are Edith Holden bits and bobs. Just about. That one's massive. This is where I've had books and I've cut the massive images out some are far too wide to fit in here, which is fine. Right, so these 3 huge things aren't going to fit. But these, oh well. So these are all leftover Edith Holden images. Right, so that's that. They can go in the back. Then got some, these are book page pockets, so I've just turned those into pockets. They can go with those for now. So we've got that one, and then we had this notepad stuff there. These are all too big, so they can go back in there. Let's just get the rest of this out because it's just going to annoy me otherwise. Yeah, and that's all shop bought bits and bobs. Let's put that down the bottom. I'm going to put those in with the notepad paper and that and those. Lots and lots of randomness here. And some of these are years and years old, guys. So some of my leftover Victoria Designs ones. I think we made a video with some of these in. One of my first videos last year. Because I haven't made any of the Victoria Design botanical journal since. That was one. Oh. That was one, that was one, tiny little one. These are all shop ones. Oh, that's a library card. That can go, oh, that can go back there. These are bookmarks. So they can go in here. This was a random. Yep. It was one of those waste envelopes that you get through the post every 5 minutes with an the pocket window in. So that can go in there. Oh, some of these are mine. My digitals. It looks like I need to be cracking on with some more nature journals because the majority of what I've currently got is nature based. I wanted to keep that out because I put all my bee stuff aside ready. Little bugs. Right, then we can have these. There we go. Then I can put all of these tags and things. these are all shop ones as well. So they can go there. Right, guys, this is all envelopes, I believe. Bar that one, that's a journal card. These envelopes, flips and flaps. Yeah. That big envelope doesn't want to go in there. Some coffee dyed envelopes. So these are the ones that I've completed and I want to keep plain, ready for going into a journal or what have you. Some of the big receipts. And then this is all tuck spots. So they can go in here as well. Not that, that's buttons. I don't know where the buttons come from. So this is why it's important for you to go through your stash, guys. I think somebody sent me them in Happy Mail, and for whatever reason they've been chucked in there. I've probably been looking for buttons. There we go. And just so you can see how much room we've got left, I've still got all this space here to add more of whatever it is that I want to use. I'm probably just going to chuck these ID cards in the front of there for now. And it is relatively easy to see where things are divided because of our dividers that are tall enough to see but not so tall that it distracts. Okay, so that's the video for today, guys. As I said, I will link Margreth's video below of where she shows this kit off. I am totally in love with it, Margreth. Thank you so much for the freebies. I do genuinely love and adore your videos. You're such a lovely lady and you give me so much inspiration. So thank you for that. My links will be down below, guys. So if you want to head on over to Etsy, there is a 50% off sale there at the moment. And the Facebook is obviously, as usual, there ready for you to chat to. The next video, we're going to be making some ephemera to fill this, because now I've got a little bit more space. It's going to make things so much easier for me. And this will fit nicely now into my craft trolley, and I won't have to have 70 gajillion different things, except for big, huge envelopes like this one, which I've had for literally years, that I love, and I can't use it. I think it's Stamperia paper, which you can still get hold of, but I love it. So yeah, that's it for today, guys. Sorry for waffling. I will see you all in the next video. Blessings.